So here's a little story. Today's the 13th of June, 2022, and I've been trying to figure out how to, not that I need to because it just comes through anyway when I start talking, but beautiful little story. Beautiful story. So this house where I'm staying, living, has a persimmon tree. And I've never seen a persimmon tree before, but I tell you that they're beautiful. And they turn the most glorious reds and orange, and the sun shines on them, and they just light up like flames with gold orbs inside. And the gold orbs are the persimmons. And then when all the leaves fall off, it's time to pick the persimmons. I don't even know how to say the word persimmon, but it looks like permission. Anyway, so a wee while back, some of them were ripe, and the landlord gave me one to try, and I was blown away. I had never experienced it. Was like nectar of the gods, like truly the most beautiful flesh, the most beautiful taste. It's like liquid gold. It's just incredible. The most incredible fruit. I want one. I'd love to have, to be able to nurture and tend a tree like that in my future and benefit from its fruit. So yeah, so she said to me that, it'll be ready when all the leaves fall off, and then I pick them all and I give some to the neighbour, and I do this and I do that, and I'm like, awesome, thank you so much for that persimmon. I said it's just divine, absolutely divine. So this particular day I'm going out, and I've decided to shout myself fish and chips because I haven't had any for a year. And incidentally, it's a year tomorrow that I moved here, so full circle there. It'll be interesting to see what goes down. So this I'm going out. It's just on evening and just on dark, and she's rustling around in this bush picking all the persimmons. It's like buckets of these beautiful, beautiful fruit. I'm like, oh yeah, it's time. She said, yep, the leaves have fallen off. And I said, that's awesome. I said, they look beautiful. And she said, would you like one? Here's a nice one. I said, yes, please. Thank you. And it's a beauty. And I said, I'm just going to pop it under this wee bush, and because I'm going out, and I'll pick it up on the way back. Thanks. I said, thanks again. Enjoy. And off I went and had my beautiful walk, got my fish and chips, which I didn't end up eating. Came back, and later on I went, oh, my persimmon. So I went out the front to get it, and there's 6 of them. She's put another 5 there, which is, yeah, so I've just gone, what? So I'm in the dark picking them up, and I'm like, oh my God, and I've picked them all up, and I've just blown away by that circle of reciprocity and generosity, and the fact that she'd not only felt moved to share initially with me, but again to share some more with me, and it's the appreciation. And I was just so moved by that, that her generosity, and I stood there and said a prayer of thanks for her generosity and thoughtfulness, kindness and care, and bless her for that, and for the tree, for the beauty of this little nest full of these permisons, and just that I all of a sudden had this abundance of these beautiful fruit, and I was so grateful to the earth, to Bailey for sharing and all of that. So I took them inside, placed them, took a photo of them in the sunshine the next day, and some of them, one of them's ready to eat, the big one that she gave me initially, and the other ones are at different stages of ripening. And anyway, I was going to visit someone, and I thought, I have nothing to take and nothing to share, because it's always nice to share. Like I was one thing I was brought up with, which was decent, was to share from your garden. So I thought, well, I'm just going to, I've got this abundance of permissons. They're so beautiful. I'd love for other people to enjoy them as well. So I put 3 in a bag and off I went. Popped them in the car. Got there and the exchange turned out to be, and I was so glad that I'd chosen to bring them and to share them, because this person had chose to share with me venison. I was like, yum, like, wow, all of a sudden I've got these delicious things. Like, if I'm going to eat a meat, it's going to be venison. It's got no fat, it's got high iron, it's so good for you. It is easy for your body to digest. The animals aren't, these particular deer aren't like killed violently and fearfully, The herd and flock, or whatever, what do they call it? It's a herd of deer, I don't know. Treated with respect, The owner, operator of that particular farm is very, very grateful for his deer, and they have a long relationship with them, actually, because I think they were there for about 15 years, because they're harvesting the antlers, which grow back. They're the only animal that the things grow back on, and they anaesthetize them to remove them, and then they grow back, and the restorative powers of deer velvet is something else. And anyway, so the exchange turned out to be that I was gifted this venison, this beautiful venison, I must add, and I was able to share these permissons because of generosity. Mother Earth grew it, designed it, grew it. Beely nurtured it with her time and resources and things, and decided to share it with me. And so that little circle went out there and got bigger. That little giving circle, it gave, and then it got bigger, and then it got bigger again. And so what I'm trying to say is that the effects of our gratitude and appreciation and sharing and the circles of reciprocity are the best examples of how one of the best examples of how we affect each other, and that we're not separate, and that everything that we do has an effect, whether we know it or not. It goes out there in the world and ripples out and has an effect. All of our thoughts, words or deeds, and wherever they come from and their flavour, go out there and have thoughts, So if we're choosing love and sharing and abundance, then we have this beautiful circle of reciprocity that, people aren't afraid to give because they have plenty, and they trust that they will be given more, and they're provided for, which is the truth of this universe and this earth that we're on and the way things are made. And it's when man gets on top of that and decides to start controlling it through lack and fear that we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. And that's when resentments and envy and bitterness and lack and greed and all of those things are suddenly at the forefront. And where would you rather your attention was? The beautiful, good feelings of sharing, reciprocity, giving, receiving, kind thoughts and actions and words and deeds, deeds and actions, or this fear and control and lack and force and when we talk about sin, like I don't, some words I just don't like because they're so limiting. It's like trying to put a cage on this beautiful flowing communication, but surely sin is choosing to behave that way, and it is a choice, and you can't say, I have to do this because you don't. You don't have to do anything. You've always got a choice. Even if it's to choose to believe in gratitude, or to choose forgiveness, or to choose deliberately choose. We're deliberately creating by choosing. This is how we are deliberately creators. We choose what we create. By those two basic choices. Fear and lack, or love and abundance, and joy and giving and receiving. Which do you want to put your energy into? This is it. Every moment, every day, we are creating by making these choices, that particular choice. And if we really, really stop to think about it, which is not what the other team wants, because it's operating from that place, and everything is designed to take you away from taking the time to think and reflect and make these choices, there's not enough time. Again, it's like everybody's got the same amount of time as everyone else. Time is actually here so that we can take the time to make these choices. These are vital choices about what we're creating in our future. Vital. We need to take the time. We need to give ourselves the time. We need to choose ourselves. There we go. Choose yourself. Be generous and kind and thoughtful and caring towards yourself, and that will enable you to fill up your cup and do the same for others. It's a circle of reciprocity. I love that word, reciprocity. So, yeah, just think. If we could just have that in our consciousness at these choice points, it would be great. It'd be great. It'd be really great if... Who's that guy that says that? Yeah. So, we don't need anyone else to do anything for us. It's like, I need for you to do this, say that, think that. It's not true. We need to do it for ourselves and stop worrying about what other people are choosing. Pardon me. I don't need for someone to think certain ways about me for me to be okay. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks about me or says about me. It doesn't make it so. I know who I am inside. I know my truth. Yeah, it might hurt if I let it. But that would be giving power to their opinion and thought about me, wouldn't it? When it has none. Yeah, so there we go. Let us go forth in this day, choosing love in every way. Look, I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Corny, I know, but that's the way it goes. Yeah, so just beautiful things. We've always got something to give. Hugs, kisses, smiles perhaps was probably more appropriate in this day and age with all this fear and BS going on. There's always something to give. We can give time. There would be a big commodity. A smile, acknowledgement, a listening ear, a helping hand. This is what our body is designed to do. Give, receive. That is the bottom line for everything, really. And there's the choice of what you will give and when you will give and when you will receive. And sometimes you don't even know you're going to receive. You just, boing, oh my gosh, I've got all these permissions. Must look up the pronunciation of that. Anyway, have a great day. Hug trees. Say thank you to Mother Earth. Bless her. Thank her. Thank the universe, God, whoever. He's the source. She, he, she, Mother, Father, God, Creator. All the indigenous cultures acknowledge this and understand this and live in harmony with this. And they've held that knowledge despite all the hammering that they've received from people who are operating from fear and lack. Yep. Some of the most shit things in this world have been done under that name. Anyway, Be kind. Rest, breathe, drink water, lie on the grass, smell roses, plant things, pet cats, stuff like that. Get on a swing. I love swinging, And I don't mean that kind of swinging, I mean like playground swing. It's very, very good for you. Yeah. I quite often go down there on the weekend and have a swing because there's no one else around. Well, there's other people around, but I don't care. I just get on the swing and swing. It's great fun. I love it. Anyway, kia kaha, arahundui. Have a beautiful day. Ka kite anō, I think it is. Yeah. Blessed be.